Cool. All right, thanks everybody. Hi everyone, and welcome to another QGIS festive freestyle mapping session. So we've got a bunch of people in the room today who have been able to join us. So generally, the session today is all just about us doing different things in QGIS and showing some different tips and tricks. As per my usual, I really enjoy using the renderers to do crazy things. I like to kind of push the boundaries of what we can do in terms of art in QGIS. So I'm going to try and make a feature point, but that looks like a snow globe with a little snowman and a tree inside of them. But I want to do it using QGIS renderers. So a lot of people ask me, like, why do you even bother doing that when I could get an SVG that looks like that? I kind of like the challenge of being able to use the QGIS renderers to do this and using the draw effects, etc. So that's my plan. I was going to do a bit of a route analysis and try and see if I could get the route of Santa across the globe, but I sort of fell down the salesman problem rabbit hole, and I just don't have enough time to compute that while we're in a session. So I thought I'd instead make a nice little snow globe feature point using different renderers. So that's my goal by the end of the session, is to have a relatively cute feature point that I can share with everybody to use on their Christmas maps. Then, of course, we've got a whole bunch of other people in the room with us. Some are just observers. I know Ethan, etc., are still at work. But we do have a good friend of mine called Victoria in the room. And Victoria is going to be giving us sort of a QGIS tutorial on taking a very festive Bob Ross painting and trying to recreate the Bob Ross painting using QGIS. So also using QGIS renderers in an artistic way, but in a different artistic way. So that is a challenge that we give to our interns when they start at Cartoza, which is, of course, the company I work for. And Victoria, as an intern, did not do this challenge. So 3 years later, after having a bit of FOMO, she's decided to do it in a QGIS open day. So Victoria, do you want to give us a little bit of background on what you've chosen? Have you got a painting yet?
Sure. So I have this Northern Lights. Thank you, YouTube. I found an old video. This Northern Lights that Bob Ross did. It's
Do you want to share your screen so we can see?
Yeah. So that's good showing. Yep. So I hope you can see.
Yep, I can.
Okay. So the finished product should look something like that.
Oh, wow. That's very Christmassy. I suppose Christmas in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, but I'll be doing a very simplified version of this.
Oh, wow. That's really stunning. Okay, well, I'll catch up with you sort of along the way. But what are going to be your first couple of steps in QGIS?
I think the black, getting like a proper mix of black and blue in the background is what I'm going to start with. I think that's pretty interesting to do. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, we will check in with you in a few, and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay.
Cool.
Can everyone hear me? Okay. I just want to check that we're good to go.
I can hear you perfectly. Yeah.
All right. So Luna, do you have any things that you are thinking to do in QGIS?
So I don't have everybody's location right in terms of the Cartoza team, but just some of the people I've just worked on, as you mentioned, let's avoid making, I think, rather importing SVGs and trying to make it. I think that's the fun part of it. So I'll attempt making a Christmas tree SVG where the Cartoza employees are on the map.
Okay, that's great. Sia Bilware, or as I know her, Abby, do you have anything that you're gonna pop today onto QGIS?
I don't know. I'm thinking of making a map of Bromfontein looking festive. So hopefully I can come up with something before my battery dies.
Alrighty, that's great. And then anyone else in the room who is going to show us some cool QGIS tips and tricks they have, or can we just dive in? Anyone? I see there's Justice and Reg in the room. Are you guys just here to observe? Alrighty, great stuff. So what I'm going to do now is share my screen. I'm going to start off. Generally, I use my tutorials. I want people to be able to follow me from brand new beginners to people who have used QGIS for years. So if there are some things I'm just going to go through them so that everyone can basically understand, what is happening. All right, so let's do it. I'm going to share my screen and let's pop over to QGIS. All right, hopefully this is the right screen. Great stuff. I'm going to turn my camera off so that I have better bandwidth. As we all know, in South Africa, power is a bit of an issue, and I don't have any right now. So maybe we'll see what goes there. So I'm just going to turn off my camera for that. Just going to hide that, turn off that, and pop to QGIS. All right. So I am in a QGIS profile here. You can see I've got a couple of plugins and stuff already installed. So what I've done is I've actually got anyone who sort of knows the world or what it looks like, what I've done is I've basically made myself a point layer using the centroids of all the countries in the world. So all I did to do that is, of course, I'm sure everyone knows this Easter egg by now, but if you just go to the coordinate box and you type in the word world, there's a nice it helps if you spell correctly. There's a really nice inbuilt countries of the world data set that comes shipped with QGIS. So that is a nice data set that you can use to do this. Now, all I did to get the centroids of that point is I went to the processing toolbox. That is, of course, in the processing menu. You go on to the first item down on the list. Inside of the processing toolbox, which is opened on the panel on the right, I typed in centroid, which I've now probably spelt wrong. There we go. So here is centroids. Do you see it's under the vector geometry tools? Now, what this tool does will create centroids for all of those polygons there. So I used that specific tool. I just used the world map polygons. And I said, create a centroid. I didn't say for each part. I said I wanted for each country, not each part, or else I have way too many points. And I ran that, and I got these points for the center of each country. So that's how I got my point data. You can get your point data. You can even draw a point if you want to. I just did it this way because originally I was going to do some analysis to look at how Santa went across the world. But again, I fell down the rabbit hole of doing network analysis, which does, of course, take time, especially with so many points of all of the countries across the planet. So I rethought my idea, and I thought, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a really nice ornament-shaped point that we can use to show features on the map. So that is where we're going to go. So I'm just going to zoom in on one of my points because really that's where I want to work on. I'm going to choose sort of one of my points I'm able to use. I'm not going to worry too much about the scale of this for now. Of course, it is best to work at something when you're working with styling such as the map unit or meters at scale, because that means that as you zoom in and out of the map, your feature will scale as well. So if you use something like millimeters, it is set at that scale. So when you zoom in and out of the map, your feature is not going to grow and shrink with the map. So that is just a quick start off. Obviously, I've just got a simple point over here. So I am going to open the layer styling panel. I prefer to make artistic works like this using the layer styling panel because, of course, you can then see what you're doing as you change it. So what I've done is I just right-clicked on the ribbons at the top there, and I'm going to go here to layer styling panel. Mine is already available to me, but that is where you can add it or get rid of it on your interface. So I'm going to click it on. And you can see that my layer styling panel has opened here. It's this tab on the bottom right of my screen. And I can just click on that tab and you'll see that I have my layer styling panel available to me here. So I had a couple of thoughts about the best way to achieve this. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up several layers of style layers. So I'm going to start off with a simple marker and build up a couple of layers of those to make my general outlines of the globe. I am going to cheat a little bit so that my characters inside of my snow globe are SVGs, because I don't want to make those from scratch. It's going to take the whole time that we're here. And then I'm going to sort of go from there. So that is my approach to making little snow globe markers. And I want to try and make them as sort of realistic as possible. You know, in the past, I've made eyeballs and pizzas and all sorts. But I thought for a little festive touch, we'll go for a snow globe. All right, because the snow globe is round, having a round point as the beginning marker is a good option. You can see here, I've just got a marker here. So these are where all my style layers can go in my over here. And you can see I'm just a little bit offset there, and I'm not sure why. I'll have to go and check that out. But that is my general go-to. So thanks to everybody. I see a whole bunch of people are coming. Hi there, who is coming in from Romania and those coming in from the Ukraine. It's lovely to have you here. Alrighty, I think let's quickly catch up with our team who are all doing slightly different things. I'm sure they're at a similar place to me where they've opened QGIS and have started doing their maps. So let's perhaps go and catch up with Victoria. Can you share your screen and show us where you're at?
Sure. Let me share my screen. Here, so we have the background in, and now just following the tutorial, I'm adding just a few carved lines.
So Victoria, if you don't mind, for those of our users who are new users, how did you go about adding that line layer, and how are you making them into nice curves?
Oh, okay. Let me just do a layer. So I'm trying to separate everything into different shapefiles. So you'll notice I have the background, which is a polygon shapefile, and then now just go to layer, and can you see the menus?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to layer and then create layer, a new shapefile layer. I'm just going to name this.
Oh, you mean the pop-up windows, like the dialogues?
Yeah.
I can't. You need to share your full screen.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Okay, let me do that. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, perfect. Yep, absolutely.
Okay. So I'll just create a new one. Line 1. I'll make sure this is a line layer, and then just add that in, and then we can now begin editing using the pencil on screen, pencil icon. I don't know the actual name.
I call it the pencil too. Oh, yeah. I think it's called toggle editing on.
Oh yeah, I see.
Haha, winning.
So add line feature. I have my advanced digitizing toolbar on. So just digitize with a curve, then turn this off. Okay, let me just actually set no fill because I want to see the outline, and then just start from here. Oh, wrong. Wrong tool. Digitize with curve. Then on something up to here, then I wanted to just slightly curve to the center. We'll clean this up later, then just do the second one here. slightly oh, having a bit of trouble. Yeah, just slightly in.
Oh, that's an interesting point. What do you mean there, Ethan?
Shapefiles do not support curves.
Oh. So would a geopackage be preferable here?
Yeah. So with shapefiles, when you go to create a new feature as a curve, it'll let you do the curve, and until you save out the layer, it'll let you edit it still as a curve. But when you save the layer edits, it'll segment the curve.
All right, so it'll be a segmented.
Yeah, so if you go into the vertex editor, you'll notice there should be like a bajillion vertices for those curves.
Oh.
Brilliant.
Do GeoJSONs work, or it's just GeoPackages?
GeoPackage works. Geodatabases work as long as they're made with Evan's Open File Geodatabase driver. As it's still some black magic how to do that in Esri. I don't know all the formats that support curves. I know of at least those two. And then, of course, memory layers.
Okay. What if I did like a temporary scratch layer and then saved it out to, let's
so
say...
start with the temporary scratch layer. And then for the geometry type, you can use either compound curve or multi-curve. Compound curve is the single feature type, and the multi-curve is the multi-part variant.
Yeah, I think that works. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you for... I would have been surprised at the end, but thanks.
Brilliant stuff. Alrighty. So thanks, Victoria. I think we'll pop away from you and let you lay out your what do you call it there? Your diagram or picture. Just set it up there. Let's pop over to Luna. What are you up to?
Right. So it was a quick one. I think it's almost there now. It should be done. But so I used overlapping simple markers to make up the different sections. So this is actually a point layer. So I played around with the different polygons. Different shapes, overlap them using offset. So this is the goal. To go through it, let me just duplicate this layer. So what I did, let me try lose this. Would it let me? There we go. So the first thing I did is work with the bottom layer. So that would have to be the largest part of the tree. So I made this at least maybe a 6, too big, 5, decent. You remove the line and then you just add a similar one to that. So another triangle, but slightly smaller this time. So I guess in this case could be a 4.5. But hold on, I don't like the fill. And then a similar color. So the big part about this is just to play around with your offset. So in this case, I need it to go, is it the other way around? Yes, there we go. To make the different sections of the tree. I can see that it doesn't create the same distance. So maybe I should make this one slightly bigger. There we go. And then I can just copy the same thing over here and make it slightly smaller once again. Save some time and then move slightly up. I keep forgetting that is up, down, the other way. Yes, there we go. It's this one.
Is up, down. I love it.
I don't work well with coordinates. There we go. Okay, so it would have to be the other.
You make maps for a living.
I'm not marketing myself well. So there we go. So you just have the foundation of the tree. Then we can add an additional marker for just the star at the top. So to make life easier, if this was 3.4, maybe this can be -4, and some more. And then it would have to just shift a little bit. And then that's where I just play around with the color over here. Got rid, actually, when I got rid of the no fill, didn't show, so rather played around with the transparency of it. But to give it the shining light effect, I played around with my draw effect. So I had a afterglow, if I'm not mistaken. I need to go check what I did there. So, and then I selected yellow once again to give it some sort of shine. And yeah, played around with these settings in terms of how far the brightness could be. So that's what I did here. And then the outcome is some of the Christmas trees on some of the locations that I know we have Cartosa people at the moment.
That's brilliant. And do you have any sort of plans forward for your little tree there?
I actually was hoping to work on the base map to make it a bit more snowy. Still working on that.
In South Africa.
We're allowed to have a fantasy land.
Although it did snow this winter, climate change has really been affecting us.
Absolutely. So you know what? It might be one of those days. So that's what I'll be adding.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Luna. I think let's pop over to Abby before her power heads off. What are you up to?
Okay, so I'm just following what my brain is telling me to do at the moment, so I don't know what I'm doing. So what I hope you can see my screen. Let me know if you can see it.
Yes, it's come through. Ooh, that looks interesting.
So, as I said, I'm making a map of Braamfontein. So, if you are familiar with Braamfontein, some of us went to university here. It's in South Africa, Johannesburg. So, these ornaments are buildings. So, I want them to be like in the center. So, it's a raster fill. One of the ornaments that I made on what's this Inkscape. So, I just want them to just fill. I just wanted to fill just one building, so I'm just trying to figure that out at the moment. So as I said, my roads are green or that greenish color, and then you have these buildings that are red and green. So yeah, and I've just labeled and done all this other stuff. So just need to get the buildings to just show one ornament. If not, then my map will have ornaments of buildings.
Okay, interesting. This is actually looking like a really cool map. Would you make an output like this and put it on something like Saw?
I'm thinking, I don't know. I actually haven't thought about it that far. So we'll see where it takes me. We'll see where it takes me.
Okay, because Saw is a really interesting platform. Abby, if you don't mind opening the internet and showing Saw what it can do. So basically, it's this really cool platform that you can take your map images as long as they're geo-referenced, and you can upload them onto this like really cool shared library of sort of maps and data. But why it comes to mind for me is because a lot of people do a lot of sort of artistic mapping, and there's some really beautiful, like, I mean, if you look at the Earth art file there, there's some absolutely stunning maps that come through onto this platform. It's completely free. You just sign up for it. And then, people upload their data and upload their different maps onto this. And it's we had a previous open day on this. So I thought, it's always good when we're making really artistic things to perhaps put them up on Saw and support the platform.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll think about it. If it comes out right, then I'll put it there. If it doesn't get to where I need it to be, it's not going up there.
Look how cool this is.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And what's really cool about it is it's all geo-referenced. So it is on a world map, but obviously this person has only made this like cool 3D rainbow map of this area. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that to everyone's attention.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at with my map.
Brilliant stuff. Alrighty, I'll share my screen again. I'm just going to quickly check in on YouTube if there are any questions. Nope. Someone says that it's a beautiful thing, Luna, your tree. There are a couple of heart faces. Later on, I will definitely participate in something as fun as this freestyle session. Thanks so much. Alrighty, let's pop on to where I'm at. I haven't gotten as far because I'm sort of in between streaming and checking things out. So what I've done is I'm really looking for that 3D aspect of the snow globe. So what I've done is I've made basically the globe here. This eventually is going to look like glass, but that's the last thing I'm going to do. What I thought would be nice was to actually fill the globe with my characters, give some snowy bottom, like ground area here. And then, of course, then make the area look like a globe. I know, Ethan, if you're still in the room, was it you who gave us some time ago a tutorial on how to make bubbles? I think it was. I might be mistaken.
I think I might have mentioned it. I don't recall actually finishing the John Nelson glass orb style, though.
No, I totally remember that. We do a lot of open days. So that's the vibe I'm going for here for the like outside of the snow globe. And then I want to put my characters inside of it. So I'm taking some inspiration from you there. Who was the original person to make those?
John Nelson.
John Nelson. Thank you, John Nelson.
From Esri.
Okay, brilliant stuff. So you'll see what I've done here is, let me just show you my my markers here. So I've currently got my simple marker, which is just my area around my snow globe. Then I've got 2 ellipse fill markers. So those are actually making my stage. So you can see here, this is my stage, and then I've zoomed out slightly here, so now I'm off alignment. This is why knowing meters at scale, etc., is important. All right, so I've got my little stage here for my characters to stand on. And then I've got another ellipse marker here. And what I wanted to do was actually fill this marker with a random point pattern fill to make it look like snow. So I've got this sort of bluish hue going on, but I actually want to make the point pattern like a fill into this. So this is a point pattern. Is there a random marker fill? There is. Great. Okay, I'm actually going to go for a random marker fill because that, I think, will serve me a bit better than a point pattern fill, because snow is not consistent. Like a point pattern fill is going to give me like a grid of my pattern, and I actually want it to be a bit more randomly placed on the inside of my ellipse here. So I'm going to go and have a look here. I've got a point count of 10. Maybe let's add a few more. Why are they all sort of stuck there? Let's look at my random marker options. Random marker fill. Where's my filled marker? Okay.
You need to set the size of the initial marker to fill.
Pardon?
You need to set the size of the initial marker to fill. So the size there for filled marker, you need to have that the same as your big circle.
But it should be.
Is it?
I think so. I don't know. If not, let's do it. Let's see here. A filled marker. My filled marker needs to be a
Should be a circle.
Yeah, let's go with a circle. Then if I fill like this, and it's not in millimeters, I want it map units. There we go. That's already looking better. Okay, so you can see, you can't see as nicely as I'd like. Perhaps let's make our little marker here just a little bigger. Let's go with map units. Ooh, too big. 0.1. No, that's too small. 0.8. That's not bad. So do you see those little little hillocks to make the look of snow there? Now, they're not anything fancy yet, but we can add draw effects, or we can add, another line of these on that if we want to. But that's a nice way to add sort of randomized texture to your area. Now, if you want to sort of increase the number of little hills there, you can obviously increase your point count. So you can see there I've got way more. I might go for something like 500. And there you've got a sort of few more. I think I am filling this whole area, so I might need to change my mind on that one. But we'll come back to this one specifically, or I may off screen go and have a look at that. So that is kind of what I'm looking for. And then, of course, on my simple marker, because this is snow and snow is kind of shiny, I want to add a draw effect of an outer glow to these little hillocks, so it looks more like snow. So I'm going to go here and click on draw effects. I'm going to click on the draw effects, and I'm going to give them an outer glow. Hopefully it works, because there are quite a few. I've made like 200 points here, so you've got to be careful, or else it's going to take time and perhaps crash. All right, it's just thinking. It is just thinking. So while my QGIS is thinking, perhaps we can catch up with whoever else is in the room doing a tutorial, perhaps Victoria.
Let me skip this round because I'm trying to figure out something. Then you can come back to me.
Alrighty, sure. Let's pop over to Luna and see how she's doing with the styling of her base map. Luna, you're muted. I can't hear you.
I was speaking.
There we go. Gotcha.
So I was saying, bear with me. I struggle with cracking into or tapping into the left side of my brain. So for the base map, I played around with just making it a very snowy all over the area. So there's a simple fill at the end, but I've added random markers that go at a 1000 count for density of 250. So it's this hashed line of, I guess, to try create the snow effect. And then I'm trying to add, what's that thing? I always forget the name. The thing that you add around the Christmas tree.
Tinsel?
Is that what it's called? Where you have
the shiny one?
It's green.
Tinsel.
Is that, yes? Okay. Well, so that's what I'm trying to add here at the top, where it just goes. You're decorating Africa basically as you go, with a few of the red Christmas balls around it. And I think I'm supposed to discuss how I did that.
Yes, please. That would be lovely.
So I just used a marker line. So a similar effect here. So the other one was a simple marker because it was a point, I guess, shapefile. Here I'm using a marker line. So for the bottom one, I used an interval of 1 on each one, but then that's where you go and decorate what shape you wanted. So I went ahead with a similar shape to create that bushy effect. And then on the second one, I did the same thing, but decreased the interval. So it's slightly bushier. And I changed the direction. So in the previous one, the direction was 0, but then it just went in the same direction as you saw here. So now I've redirected it so that it went from this to the other way around. And that's how I did it over here by rotation. And then I added just a simple marker once again on a marker line, but using just the circle icon so that we can have the Christmas balls. But to give it once again the shine effect, I've played around with the outer glow. So that's where this is at the moment.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's really, really cool. So is did you draw that line along?
Yes, that's the shapefile here.
Okay. So that was something you then created in there. And what does that line represent?
Just a random Christmas decoration.
Brilliant.
I think the reason I actually thought of it was when I added the snow, the borders of Africa disappeared. which then gave me the idea that I actually over the festive season, that's when borders actually disappear. That's when everybody's traveling, you know. Then I thought, okay, a new border would be just the festive season of its own. There's just a decoration. Everybody's everywhere, you know. So
I
that's
love
the
that.
reason.
That's such a nice sentiment.
I bumped into it.
Brilliant stuff. Alrighty. Abby, Victoria, are you ready to share?
Let me just share my progress. As I said, really depends on where my brain is taking me at the moment. So I decided to ditch those ornaments and create my own cherries to represent the buildings.
Oh, how did you manage to create the cherries? Is it a buildup of different sort of symbol layers?
Yeah, so if you look at what's this, in terms of the fill style, I used a point pattern fill. Then I used a marker, and then I added 2 markers, a circle and a I think it's a line. If you hover on top of these lines, it will tell you that it's a line, or these shapes rather. So I used that, and then the only one thing that I did, especially with the line that looks like a stalk or a stick on top of the cherry, I had to play around the offsets and the rotation of my cherry. So I think it's okay for now, but it should look more realistic. But I think I'm okay, and I'm kind of happy with where this is going. And then I just increased the width of my roads. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with what I'm getting to at the moment.
That is lovely. Very, very cool. Huh. Alrighty, cool. Victoria, over to you, or can I continue with my ailing snow globe over here?
Sure. Let me share my screen. What's happening? Okay. Yeah. So carved lines are proving difficult. I had initially had those, but I didn't like them. So I'm trying to get these as similar as possible to. Oh, I'm only showing a window. Sorry, you can't see the point of the video I am at, but he has very nice carved lines for the northern lights. So that's what I'm trying to replicate here. So I just got a center point where I want my lines to meet. So that would be this layer. And then I'm just creating now the outline of where the lights would fall. And then the mountain range would come somewhere here. So just a demonstration of how I'm adding the lines. So I've got the edit. I've set this on digitize with curve and just trying to make them even for now. Then I'll just sort of blur the outline at a later point. This is not what I want. Okay. So just got that, and then just slightly curve them. And there. So I think that's what I'm going to start with. And then over to Amy as I figure out the next colors.
Brilliant stuff. All right, great stuff. Let's go back to my little snow globe over here. All right, so I've gotten to the point where what I've done is I've added a base to my snow globe. Just going to do a quick check if there are any questions in YouTube. Please feel free to ask any questions that you do have in the live chat. I will pop over there every now and then just to make sure, there are any questions. If you want to know something specific about, I don't know, style layers or using different renderers, we can go into that. But yeah, I'm just going to continue for now. So, all right, what I've done, let me just, I don't know what I've got. Oh, there we go. So what I've done is I've added a base to our snow globe just to make it more snow globe-y. I want to fill this area underneath the little platform, but we'll get there. That's sort of less important right now. I have added one of my characters. So again, this is where I've cheated. I used an SVG for this. I'm going to add a secondary character and show you how to do that. All right, so what I've done is I've got a little simple marker here. Now, if you find that your markers are out of order, obviously I want my tree to be in front of all of my other layers here. So think of these like layers. So I can just click on that and click on the up arrow, and that's going to move it through my symbol layers there. So just make sure that, you know, those sort of small things you do know. All right. So now for that simple marker, I actually want it to be SVG. And I'm going to add an SVG marker of a cute tree that I found that I thought would be nice in my snow globe. So I've, of course, have my little snowman here who's very, very sweet. And I'm going to go and navigate on my computer. These are vector images from Pixabay that are free, attribution-free, openly available to everybody, and royalty-free, of course. So we just thank the people who contribute to that really lovely resource. And there are lots of SVGs and symbols that you can, of course, use there if you want to. I use quite a lot of their stuff, and I think this one was made by someone called Clip Art Mania or something. Everyone has a screen name, so I don't know who it is, but thank you for making these SVGs. They're very, very cute for Christmas. All right, so you'll see I've got my tree here, and it's this tiny little spot in the middle of my snow globe. So we now need to basically just manipulate that to be the right size and in the right place. So let's do it. All right, so here I'm going to change, of course, my size to map units. Now we've got a massive tree. And it's a basic tree. I'd actually like to maybe decorate it. I'm going to steal some of Luna's tricks there and maybe put some baubles on it. So let's make this the right size to fit into my snow globe. So let's look at the width of it. We're going to go 1.5. It's now going to look a bit skinny. I have locked the aspect ratio as well. You could, of course, unlock this if you want to stretch the image in a specific way, but I've kept the aspect ratio because I want the tree to be, you know, remain, what would you call this? Well, keep the aspect ratio. My brain is going well today. It's the end of the day on a Friday. All right, so I'm going to take this even smaller. I think a little bit bigger than that. That's really cute. So that's a nice size for with our snowman, but of course they're overlapping. So what I want to do is I actually want to offset this. So you can see that the tree is right in the middle of this crosshairs here, and I want to move it basically to the left. So I'm going to go to my X here, and I'm going to move downwards to move it across the screen. Now, of course, this is a painstaking process. So then when you finally see which way works for you, you can actually just cheat and put numbers in and see how far you want to go. Let's do a -10 and see. Ooh, okay, now I'm at -4,600 and something. That's not ideal. Let's see a -10, no, 20. Getting better, much, much better, but I actually think 25 might be best. That's nice. So we have our little tree. In fact, I want to move it a little bit back. So you can see how the little snowman and the tree are not sort of on the same plane here. I really want them to be. So then, of course, we can affect the the y-axis as well to move the tree up and down within my area here. So I'm going to just do that. This, by all rights, I should do at map units, because now that it's in millimeters and I zoom in and out, this is going to be completely out of whack. It's going to, let me just grab my scale that I'm at here. So let me zoom out a little bit and show you what I mean. Do you see how everything is now completely badly aligned? And that's because I didn't do the offsets, etc., in the same map units that I should be working at. I'm not going to fix that now because we don't have the time. But just so you know, make sure that you're working in the same units for everything if you are making a symbol point with renderers, you know. It is important. So I'm going to go back to the scale I was working at, and we're all fixed again. So this is mapping software, you know. Things are scale dependent, things are CRS dependent. It's not an art software, but I love to push QGIS and see what we can do. So let's move our tree in the Y plane a little bit. So let's go down, which is up. I know it sounds strange, but there we go. All right, so there we go. We've got our two characters inside of our snow globe. I don't know if I have time to decorate the tree. I will do that eventually. But what I want to start doing is, of course, the point of a snow globe is that you have the globe effect, the sort of 3D glass effect of the globe, and I would also like some snow inside of that globe. Eventually, it would be nice if I could get like a GIF that makes the snow move inside of there. And you can do that with, for example, an animated marker, but I think that would take a little bit of time. So, when you're thinking, go through that creative process and think. You're going to have to do some testing, some trial and error, and go for it. So I'm going to add now another symbol layer. That, of course, I can do by just adding the little plus button. And you can see my next symbol layer here. Now, this symbol layer, I actually want to be my sort of glass style ball around the top. So this one with the outline, I'm going to keep because it's giving me a visual cues on where I need to be and what I need to do. But eventually the black line on this will go, and you'll just have the glass looking ball. All right, thanks, Reg. Reg is just sort of saying thanks. All right, so I'm just going to show you my basic approach to that, because I am aware of time, and then we'll check in with the rest of our intrepid mappers, and then bring the session to an end. So I'm just going to show you my basic thoughts for trying to make this look like glass. Please go and have a look. I'm pretty sure in the QGIS of last year, we did do the glass or bubble drops from Ethan, so go and have a look at that. That's the basic tutorial I'm going to follow to make this glass bauble. So while I'm doing this, I'm just going to quickly pop and go to map units here so that we have the same size. I do not want a line. And then I want to actually fill this. So I'm going to change this to be, I think a filled marker might work. A raster marker, master. No, not what I want. I just want to fill it with a shape burst. All right, let's go here. Let's go here. Simple fill, shape burst fill. Haha, victory. All right, so we've got a filled marker. We can choose the fill for it, and inside of there, I've got a simple fill, and I actually want something called a shape burst fill, like so. And you can see that already looks like a sort of, I don't know, crystal ball, a red one. So I want to make this more of a snowish color so that we have, a better sort of idea there of a glass ball. So I'm going to go something like that will work for me now. Now you can set the distance of your shape burst fill. So this for me is a little bit too intense. I just want the edge to give it the idea of a snow globe. So that's too little in my opinion. But again, this is entirely your creativity. What you would like to do is entirely up to you. So that for me looks a little bit more like a snow globe, but I would like to offset this a little bit because being in the middle, it doesn't quite look like a snow globe to me. So let's go and have a look if we can play with this. Again, I should probably be doing this in map units, just quick side note there, but I'm gonna shuffle on as I've been doing. So let's see. Oh no, that's offsetting the whole thing, not just the shape burst. Okay, not what I want. All right, but for now, before I get into that, all right, thanks, Abby. Sebeware has to move, and she'll post her final on one of the social media channels. All right, so I've got a two-color sort of strength here. Now, there are two ways to make this a little bit opaque so that you can see our little people inside. One of which is to go up to the fill and say, how transparent or opaque you would like this. So I'm going to make up the opacity a little bit so that it looks like a sort of glass area here. Now, what's great about this is my base here for my little snow globe. I'm going to turn the black line off on this simple marker. I hope that's the right one. Don't want a line on that one. Perhaps I have two in effect. I'm not sure. There we go. So now we've got that really nice sort of glass, snow globe-y looking vibe there. And I'm going to add another little round here so that we have a nice sort of light splashing off of it. So I'm going to then leave my screen. I'll show you what I've come up with in the last couple of minutes. But let's do a last catch up with Luna first and then Victoria. All right.
So for some odd reason, as soon as I saved, everything shifted. I have no idea why. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm not sure what's wrong.
We can hop into Victoria first.
Sure. Let me share my entire screen. Great. So I have this paper texture that I want to add to my mountains here, but I seem to have forgotten how to do that. So I was just clicking around. I don't know, Amy, if you remember. We've used it before, but I can't remember how we did it.
I think, are you looking for a raster fill? So you're gonna have to go into your
here is it the I have to create.
So go to just the simple fill there, the next one down, and then simple fill, go there, and you should by all means have a raster image fill, and then you can go to it on your computer. I think that should work.
It doesn't seem to support. Okay.
The image is embedded in the QGIS style. So you'll have to go into your style manager and import that style.
Oh, yeah. Project. Was that in the properties? Yeah.
So if you go all the way back up to the top fill layer, where it says favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So clear out favorites.
Excuse me.
There we go. And just type in paper.
I think it did something. It's not showing up.
It's because you have blending modes on. So just switch it from soft light to normal. And it'll show up.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Then I'll just duplicate this layer and then, because I want to add a bit of shading. I'm trying to replicate this sort of shading that Bob Ross has. So with a paper texture, and a bit of a lighter color, I'm hoping to get the same sort of feel. And I think I'm going to stop sharing my screen because QGIS is freezing up.
Okay, brilliant stuff. Thanks. I will then bring us to a finish there. All right, let me just share my entire screen. I will continue on my little path here with my snow globe. Yes, as Dragos says, there is a web page where we can upload and download QGIS symbols, QMLs files. Yes. So there is on the Q, I will go there just now, but there's a QGIS style repository that you can share all different styles on. So I will share the snow globe onto there. I will show you in a couple of minutes how to do that. But just to finish us off here, I have added a little bit of, no, not what I want. Let's try and zoom into the same scale that I had. I don't think I cleared it from my clipboard. So let's see. There we go. So what I've done here is I've added another marker, and you can see this very gentle shading here that I'm starting to build up to make it look like, you know how things glint off of a glass orb? That's what I'm trying to get here. So what I've done is I've made a shape burst fill that's just got a white shape burst, white to transparent shape burst set inside of it. And you will see that there. I can make it a little bit more obvious if I do a set distance here, and I can make it a different distance. But then what I added to that to soften the edge of the fill is I added a draw effect. So if I take the draw effect off, you'll see it's a very hard edge to that line. But that's not what I wanted. I wanted that kind of glint that things get. So I added the draw effect, and the draw effect that I added was a external glow, an outer glow, to get that sort of light glint that you get off of a snow globe. So I'm going to build that up to make it look much more 3D, and I'm going to fill the bottom here. But I suppose you get the idea of what I'm going for. So hopefully by the end of today, I will have a nice snow globe for us. Last but not least, because we have come to the end of the session, and we do want to all rush to the Atlas session, that's going to be really interesting. I just wanted to show you where the QGIS style repository was. So let me pop there. You can just, of course, Google the QGIS style repository, and then pop there to go and see all the different styles that are available. So I'm just popping it onto my screen here. You can see that it's at plugins.qgis.org/styles. You can upload your own styles here. There is a plugin that does it directly from QGIS. I forget the name of it now, but it is imminently searchable. And then here you can add all of your data here. You can see that Tim Sutton and Klaus Carlson, etc., have all added nice styles that you can go and have a look at. I will, of course, put my little snow globe there for you as well. All right, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Let's all pop over to the next session. We'll be starting in a couple of minutes. Thanks all.